Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. It's a double exciting day today. Of course, you all know it's my birthday, but before the whiskey can be brought out, and we've been holding it off all day because we have a special guest. And I don't think it'd be quite right if my guest turned up and I'd been drinking all day. That happens after this interview. But today we're talking Flux Power. And I'm very excited to bring our next guest on to the Meet the CEO series. I think this is going to be a very interesting meeting today and a chat with the CEO of Flux Power. And I think you're going to really, really like this one today. There's a lot of interest in this particular technology today. So we're going all the way over to California in a few seconds to introduce to you Ronald F. Dutt today on the show, who is the CEO of Flux Power. We're talking lithium batteries. Of course, lithium is very, very important now. Elon Musk's always talking about we need more people to refine lithium batteries, electric power. And we're talking, around the airports when you see the handling devices going around, that's what Flux Power does. So you might like this one. We already ranked number one for it on YouTube just by talking about this interview and analyzing the stock last week, and it's going to ramp up more. So we're going to look into this. Remember, as always, I'm not here to pump and dump stock. I am only investing in the S&P 500, so I'm completely impartial and unbiased to bring you the facts to make investing simple. Because investing is simple. You look at the balance sheet, you find out what the company does it make money, does it serve the world in a great innovation, and can you invest in this company and help grow the company so they can employ people, they can make money, and you can make money. That's the purpose of my channel, as you know. We're the most honest, real-life channel on YouTube TV. That's what this show is all about. So, without further ado, let's get into it. If you'd like to ask a question today to Ronald Dutt, you can. Please go into the live chat and leave me your thoughts and comments, and you can share and you can ask Ronald anything you like. One of his people at his office contacted me, Maria and Adam, who I want to give a big shout out to, said, do you have a preset list of questions? And I said, I don't. And poor Ronald's thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But that's how we do our shows. We like it to be real, unscripted, and get to know the man or the woman behind the business. Because after all, that's who you're investing in. So it's a nice informed chat. That's what this show is all about. So first of all, what is Flux Power? Let me share some information on the screen to show you a little bit about Flux, and you can get an idea before we bring our CEO in. This is Flux Power's website, and as you can see here, we have one of these machines that you might see around the airports or you'll see around factories. Lithium-ion batteries are revolutionizing material handling industry, of course. You've seen the airports. Let me zoom in. You've seen these things going around. I wonder if they have anything to do with the the little carts that go meep, meep, meep. You know those things? Maybe they have something to do with that. We'll find out today. This is the company here. It's based over there in California, so nice sunny state. And these are some of the businesses we are involved with. Delta, PepsiCo, Caterpillar, some very good businesses, very well-known businesses here is some of their partners and customers. So there we go. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce today the CEO of the company, Ronald Dutt, live on my show. To give him a great welcome. Ronald Dutt, lovely to have you here. How are you, sir?
Very good for a Friday, and thank you for having me on the show.
It's my absolute pleasure. So Ronald Dutt, you are over in California today. Is that right? Is that where I'm speaking to you from?
Yeah, actually San Diego County. So yes.
Lovely. You may notice I'm not American. I'm actually from England, but my studio where I broadcast from is in Dallas, Texas, which is a bit odd, isn't it? I live in England, but I broadcast from Dallas. There you go. Now then, you are the CEO of Flux Power. Tell us a bit about you first of all, because it's always interesting how a business starts and why you'd want to be the CEO of this company. How did it all begin? So, Ron, tell us a bit about you, where you come from, and how you ended up becoming the CEO of this company.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah. Quite a story. I grew up in Ohio, and I got my start at Ford Motor Company up in Dearborn, Michigan, at the headquarters for a number of years in automotive and financial services. Went on via the finance route to a number of other public companies after that, and stumbled into this opportunity. I knew the founder of Flux Power, who had started the company back in late 2009. And I was actually between jobs. He asked me to come in and help one day a week. And lo and behold, a few months later, I was the CEO. And it was a situation where there was an initial foray into the automotive EV space in terms of providing lithium batteries there. Commercially, that didn't work out. Coming from automotive, like the rest of you, we're very familiar with Elon Musk and the automotive sector. What people aren't familiar with is material handling and don't realize how large the material handling sector is. In fact, for Toyota Motor, the material handling sector is about the same size as automotive and actually slightly more profitable. So I thought that helps with perspective. And in 2013, when I took over as CEO, I said, look, let's pivot, let's restart the company. 8 other people and myself, we started out to introduce lithium-ion battery packs to the material handling sector because nobody else was. So coming from the crowded automotive sector, I thought this was a great opportunity. And so it took us a while. Not long into it, we realized the real impactful value proposition with the very large fleets who were looking for the next little bit of productivity performance for moving more packs during their shifts, and as importantly, lower product lifecycle costs. So off we went, realizing we didn't need government incentives. Our investors thought that was a good idea and certainly indicated the sustainability of what we were doing. So off we go, started building the company, and here we are today.
Fantastic. That's a great story how you got there. Thank you for sharing that with us. So as we all know, electric power is definitely the future. And it's interesting because we always think about EVs and cars, like you say, but we don't think about all the other machines that require batteries. So what is the competition like? So if I'm an investor, why am I going to buy Flux? Is there other companies doing this? How do you compare to the competition? Give me some thoughts there.
Sure, we look at that a lot. We were the first ones to offer UL listed lithium-ion battery packs in the sector. And since then, there have been a group by certain people's counts, about 13, various companies, all with their kind of own focus and strengths and what they do. We found that most of the companies are either very small companies who have started out kind of like ourselves, possibly some who are divisions in a few larger companies. We have a couple European companies trying to get in to the United States. However, it's early stages. There's no dominant player in our sector right now with 13. I know most of the CEOs. I wish them very well and say, give lithium a good name, because the market's a lot bigger than we are, and we can be very friendly at this point.
Yeah, but they haven't been on this show, and they're not going to rank #1 on Google and YouTube today. They're not. Flux Power is. How about that?
Yeah. Good. And so there are some on the lead acid side who we are providing the opportunity to the lead acid solution. There are several dominant players there looking at introducing lithium. However, having spent most of my life with large companies like Ford, DHL, Visa, and others, they realize that when you're migrating from a pure commodity to some other product, it's disruptive to the entire infrastructure of the company. So we're waiting to see at what point they may decide to put more resources toward it. But right now, it's I'd like to describe it in general as an open playing field, open running field with their competition.
What is the if you were going to, I don't know, Delta Airlines or Caterpillar, and they were saying, we don't need lithium batteries, we've got our lead acid batteries, we've got the old school. What would you say to them? What are the advantages with lithium? How can they benefit by switching over to your technology?
We love to have those conversations, particularly with the large fleets and particularly ones with more than one shift, because we'll go in. Typically, we'll look at their operation and let them know that if they have 2 or 3 shifts with lead acid, the lead acid battery is only good for one shift, because then it has to be charged for another 8 hours and cooled for another 8 hours. With lithium, because of the chemistry, you can opportunity charge it between the operator breaks and lunches and run the one pack for all 3 shifts. And so that really represents a big cost advantage. The other thing is, because of lithium chemistry, you don't have to water it. And with lead acid, watering is something that must be done to maintain the life of the pack. Often is another complication. Also, the lithium batteries do not require battery rooms. So all of a sudden you're freeing up a lot of square foot in facilities, which is extremely important to those warehouse operations. Lithium batteries are much more efficient using electricity from the grid. We use the government calculation that's based on how many kilowatt hours of energy you can save, and which we can measure exactly. And consequently, we save tons of carbon dioxide for all of our customers, which really resonates in the environment we're in now.
Brilliant. And I would imagine as well that they have the opportunity. But I'm just thinking now of like Caterpillar and Delta, particularly airlines. A lot of outside space, roof space, could have solar panels which would then charge the batteries up for free. Technically, I suppose that's another advantage, right? They can save money doing that. So that's great. Now, when I spoke to Adam to set up this interview, and today, this was great, because most of our interviews with our CEOs, by the way, if you just tuned in, I'm talking to Ron here, and he doesn't know what I'm going to ask him. This is completely 2 guys down the pub having a chat, and that's how we like to do things. We don't do it like Mad Money and Bloomberg and CNBC, and this is why CEOs tell me they've said to me, Ron, they like being on the show because it's just so much easier and more relaxed, and people the investors they don't want all the nonsense and the complicatedness of what you get on the mainstream channels. We're going to be bigger than them in about 7 years' time, because they just want to talk to the CEO, talk to the business, find out what it's about, that's whatever. And you, Adam, contacted me. Normally, it's one of our investors go and email you and say, hey, Martyn Lucas is covering your stock, can you be on the show? Adam found us because we were on YouTube, and he reached out to me, which was the first time it's ever happened. So that was nice. So thanks to Adam and Maria for setting up this wonderful chat today. Now, we all love lithium, and this business obviously sounds very exciting because we've got a lot of investors here in Tesla and Tesla electric vehicles. This is another way you can get into electric powered vehicles, if you like. Let's talk about the business now, how we can make money. Now, I've been reviewing the stock, and there's some good, and always, like any stock, some good and some not so good news. First of all, if we look at Wall Street analysis on your stock, Ron, there's some good positivity here, some really, really good stuff. At the worst case scenario, we calculated, we use a very advanced algorithmic software, 108% upside in the next 12 months, worst case. Best case scenario, we're looking at a 260% upside, which is very, very nice. And what is quite surprising as well, and I'm really pleased to see it, for a stock that's currently running at $4.32 in this sector with these sort of numbers, we would normally have quite a large short interest. And as you can see, we're showing 1.55%. So 20% would be excessive, and then with volume, we're looking for a short squeeze. But here, we have hardly any short interest at all, which means the sentiment around the stock is good. Despite the price being $4.32, it is actually got very, very little short interest. So that's always a very bullish sign. I do want to ask you about this though. When the price is where it is today, and if we just go back over the last 3 months, the year to date, we're just going sideways at $1.26. Over the last year, it's down 33%. What thoughts have you got behind here? We've got some insight